Hi, I'm back with our burnout coach, Nia, and normally it's the coach asking the questions, but today, Nia, we've got some difficult questions lined up for you. So let's go.
Let's go.
Okay, Nia, so the question we get a lot is how do people actually quickly recognize when they're going through burnout? Is there a sign?
Well, if you're missing the signs and if you're just bad at noticing them, I guess the first thing that you can do is in the morning while you're brushing your teeth or putting on your favorite shirt, just give yourself one word to describe the day and how you're feeling about the work that you're about to do, about the things you have to do. And if words like exhausted, numb, overwhelmed start popping up again and again, then it might be a good idea to stop and think about it, reflect on your choices a bit.
When every day starts feeling like a Monday.
Yes, basically.
Got it. Okay, the next question is one that I have the answer to, but it's one we get asked so much. Why can't high performers admit the signs or admit to themselves that they are exhausted and on a burnout trajectory?
I think high performers cannot really admit to having burnout because to them, admitting exhaustion is the same as admitting failure. They feel like they failed, they couldn't keep up, there's something wrong with them. Why is everybody else succeeding and I'm not? That's why it's so hard. What is your answer?
Yeah, exactly. When I found out that I had burnout, instead of feeling relieved that it wasn't something neurological, I felt ashamed. I felt ashamed that I couldn't cut it, that I couldn't cut the pace of success. But actually, yeah, that's a myth, right?
Yeah, unfortunately, a lot of people feel like that, but it is a myth. There's nothing wrong with you. You're just human. You're tired. It's time to take a rest, to reevaluate your life.
Okay, so we speak a lot about energy. What would you say is the single tweak that a client could do to get an energy boost?
I always tell my clients that it's a good idea to go back to monotasking. Everybody tries to multitask, but what they're actually doing is just task hopping. And that leads to more mistakes, lack of focus, more brain power being exhausted. So just drop the multitasking, go back to monotasking, do one thing at a time and do it well.
Yeah, so you're saying that the myth of multitasking prevails when you're...
Yeah, everybody, while they're on a Zoom call, they also want to be responding to emails and quickly doing some other tasks. And they think that they have the capacity to do both things equally well at the same time. It's not true. It's not true. That's how attention gets shot. Mistakes become more and more frequent. It's not good. And people get exhausted. Your brain gets exhausted.
So, Nia, once people start coaching, they start a few sessions, how long they're going to take before they start feeling better? Is it one session, multiple sessions? How do you gauge this? How long does it take to get over burnout type of feeling?
How long is it going to take for people to recover from burnout? That's probably one of the hardest questions I get. And in reality, it's a very personal thing. One's recovery journey is very unique to them. Depends on the drivers of burnout. It depends on how serious it is, how exhausted they are. It depends on if it's their first time going through it or not. If they've had coaching or therapy before. Some clients say that their mood, their energy has improved after just a few sessions, while others need a few months to really notice a difference. So it's a very unique thing. It depends.
I suppose it's like any disease, people have it in a different way and respond differently to treatment. But I can certainly say that coaching made a huge difference to my recovery. And a lot of the talks I do and the tips in my book came from one-on-one sessions of realizations with a coach.
Yep, that is usually the case. From my experience, people that try to deal with burnout alone usually have a slower recovery process than those that seek professional help.
Last time we did a burnout myth. This time I've got a new one for you. What do you think is the myth that drives you the craziest?
The myth that drives me the craziest about burnout is, oh, you're going to cure burnout by just talking to your friends. Of course, it's great to talk about it with friends, with loved ones, with your partner, but you cannot assume that the people around you have the capacity or the time to really help you. And even if they do, maybe they just can't structure it in the right way. They can't find the right words to help you or figure out what it is that you exactly need. So that's where a coach is really valuable, because they can structure your recovery plan. They can help you. They celebrate your wins with you. So they're they're just one more person in your corner, one that has the education and the experience to actually help you through burnout.
Because, I mean, sometimes the mindsets are quite deep, right? There's one thing saying I'm going to take a healthy snack and I'm going to take a break. But if your whole mindset, like you spoke about earlier, about what performance means or what success is to you, or that rest is a luxury, which was my case. I used to think, resting was a luxury. I didn't give myself an opportunity to take a rest. And those mindsets are so deep that I don't think a person can just see it themselves.
No, and it's hard to stay accountable when, the only person holding you accountable is your friend. They tell you, hey, you're slipping up again. Then you want to turn around and say, well, you're not doing great either. So it's not.
Or you say I'm having a difficult time. Okay, let's go for a pizza and a glass of wine, Let's solve it like that. So we've been running a promotion alongside of our book, From Burnout to a Beautiful Life, with our coaching team. And we've been giving people a 20-minute free coaching session. And the promotion's still running. But what I'm interested is, from the people that have taken the call, what kind of responses are you finding when people take this call, get the courage to actually book a session with you? What happens?
I think there are three main reasons why people book the free 20-minute call with me. First, they're very curious. A lot of them have never tried coaching before, and now that they have the opportunity to do a quick and free call, they just jump at it immediately. So people are curious. They usually have a lot of questions, and they're sick and tired of Googling things. They just start the call, and they say, I want to ask this, this, and this. Answer me now, which is nice. It's good. People come prepared in a sense. And then finally, people book sessions with me because after those first 20 minutes, they usually know if we're going to click or not, if I'm the right person for them, which is why I always urge people, book that free 20-minute call. It costs you nothing. It's only 20 minutes of your life, and it might be exactly the connection you need to recover from burnout.
It's funny, I imagine if you say to someone, I'll give you a free call with a tax consultant that could save you time and money. And it would probably be easier than saying there's this kind of vulnerability that comes with booking a call with a coach, right?
Yeah, absolutely. But again, I've been surprised at how curious people are and how educated they are on the topic. So by the time they come to me as a coach, they already have some answers, they have some education on the matter. It's nice to see. So the taboo around burnout is less and less.
So Nia, a question that I'm interested in, the whole concept of remote work, which is, we're seeing Amazon sending everybody back to offices, but there's still a large percentage of people that are working remotely. How do you see that post-corona now affecting burnout levels?
So you're basically asking me if remote work leads to higher rates of burnout. Recent studies do suggest that. They say that people that work remotely tend to be more lonely or have a hard time saying no, shutting off their laptop and stopping for the day. But the jury is still out. The truth is, if you're lacking boundaries, if you don't have a purpose, if you can't say no, and if you're constantly under high volumes of stress, you are going to burn out, regardless of if you work from home or from the office.
Yeah. No, it's those habits that you need to look at in your life, right?
Those habits, those mindsets, the stress management tactics and techniques you have.
I love this new term. They call it the pajama hour. So people are saying that if you're sitting in your pajamas with your laptop and maybe a gin and tonic or a glass of wine, then you're not actually working. But at the end of the day, you need to draw that line. I think it's very important. So Nia, we're seeing a lot of people come to Rebalanced Life. They're high achievers. They've got an incredibly demanding lifestyle. And a lot of them are like me. We love our work. We're sort of workaholics. We're driven by our passions. But that doesn't necessarily mean we burn out. We don't burn out, right? So how do you tailor a plan for somebody who comes to you with this kind of characteristic of being a high achiever?
So usually when a high achiever comes to me for coaching, the first thing I focus on is helping them set boundaries and keeping those boundaries so they can start carving out time for themselves, start developing healthy habits. Because those people, they work 24/7. If they're not working, they're thinking about work. So really it starts with setting boundaries and starting to shift those mindsets, relaxing a little bit, closing the laptop at 5 p.m. or 6 p.m. and saying enough for today before we can really take any further steps.
So there's always this debate. Is it the book? Is it the coaching? Is it the new hybrid model? But what do you think works for people? Is it?
I think the book is a great first step. I know a lot of hours went into developing this book, making it very, very useful to people. I know many have had incredible success and have really made tremendous first steps in their recovery just by reading the book. But I also know that for a lot of our clients, they read the book and that kind of got them hooked onto everything that we're doing. And then they jumped on the free call with me, we clicked, or with one of the other coaches, they clicked. And so now they're doing this, as you said, hybrid version, where they're reading books, they're coming to us with, hey, I read this, or I saw this online, can we talk about it? Can we maybe put it into the recovery plan? So the book is a great first step, especially if you're just starting your burnout recovery. I would say coaching adds value to it. It gives you some structure. It holds you accountable. It's really, it's just the next additional thing that you can do.
Yeah, I must say, I'm a book lover, love holding a real book in my hand. I love also an audio book, which all our books are on audio. But there's nothing like also that speaking out some of your truth to people. So I do think it's a hybrid model is truly a great way for anybody to solve any problem, to be honest, and any challenge. Why should we do all of this stuff alone? Life's challenging enough, right?
I agree. And I always love it when clients say, oh, but I read this and I tried this exercise. This doesn't work exactly for me. Can we maybe tailor this? Can we adjust this to fit my schedule and my lifestyle? I love it.
I've had a great time today. I hope you've enjoyed it. This is our series with our burnout coach, Nia, asking the difficult questions, putting the coach in the hot seat. And I hope there's been some great learning experiences for you. And we look forward to the next one, Nia.
Yep, looking forward to it. And please subscribe, show the love, and jump on that free 20-minute call with me. See if coaching is for you.